honestly, I don't think I can do it, Jamie, man. I can't. I'm not built for this. All of my staff don't want to speak. And then I start talking, everyone else starts talking. That's good, he is. What happened the last time you cut a hedge?
I had a heart attack.
Right before I had an open weekend, you pretend to have a heart attack.
I didn't pretend, Jimmy. I had one.
You were pushing on because you stopped too much for brakes. This week we've got a bit going on. We've got tarmacking going on at Barmoor. It's nothing big. It's not like I'm doing a full section. It's just extensions to car parks. A bit for us as well. We are fitting a barrier to Ancroft, the same as what we've done at Barmoor and Looker. We're dressing up around the house. We've got a kitchen going in the house. I've got a meeting with the council today, 2.5 hour, nearly 3 hour meeting yesterday, because we have submitted planning permission for the castle. What else have we got on? Arlene's on washing the showground, Craig's on holiday, and it's school holidays, so I'm losing Jodie and Gemma a few days this week, as they've obviously got to look after the kids. To be honest, I quite enjoy this time of the year. It's a chance to tick off all the things in your head that have been bothering you, all the little jobs that you've been building up through the summer that you can't do when you've got people on site. For me, because I need to process all of those things, I need to work through them and get them done, it's satisfying. All these things niggle in my mind till I've got them complete. Today you join us, a bit of a mucky job. We're working on the pond on South Lawn. We've taken advantage of the weather. It is November and it's sitting at like 14 degrees and it's been dry as anything. So we're trying to get on. We're going to strip back all the vegetation on this pond, get in, dredge it, see whatever problems we find with it, redo all of the banking and redevelop the whole thing. I estimate this job to take us most of the winter because it'll be stop-start. I can't do it when I've got customers on site and we're subject to the weather during this period. So this is going to be a little bit of a slow burner and I look forward to trying to show you week by week as we make little bits of progress. What I want to try and do is find the inlet and the outlet to this pond. So I know where they are, but I want to see what they're like, figure out why the water level sits so low, whether we can lift that up a little bit, because really, as you can see, the bank's quite steep and the water sits quite low. So I want to try and make full use of that. And you'd try and get the water level to sit at 1.5 meters deep to stop the photosynthesis in the water and prevent the algae sitting on the top. So we want to try and to have a bit of a recce, understand where all the pipe work is and see how we take the job forward. We've got two pipes, inlets, both at the top end of the pond, which is a bit useless. I could really do one at the other end, do with one down there. Reason being, water flows in, agitates all of this part of the pond, so there's a bit of circulation. The top end's quite stagnant. Immediately looking at these pipes, I think we need to strip them back to a height where we can reduce the fall, bring the height of the pond up a little bit, make the outlet a little bit higher, and then put another inlet in at the other end. Every pond that you see we've built, we've done a 2,500 square metre, 2,800 square metre. And this one and the one in front of the office my dad built, this will be 30 odd years old. It's never been touched. The reason, to be honest with you, I'm a bit nervous about doing it. I can remember my dad bringing a digger into this, and as soon as he tracked it in, the suction off the sill pulled both tracks off the machine and we just had to give up. So whatever we do, we're going to have to take our time and it's going to be a bit of trial and error, to be honest. We're going to have to figure it out as we're going along. So this is why I want to strip everything back so we can get a good look at everything. Dead leaves, silt, vegetation. To be honest, it'll make the best compost. And the part of the reason I'm worried about doing the job, when we dig this out, I'll dredge it, drive it away from here and dumpers, tip it all out and let it dry out so we could possibly use it. But it's just going to be dirty. I'm going to make a mess right the way through the park and it's going to be time consuming, obviously with the weather against us in the middle of winter. I'm going to say it now and put it on camera. What I would like to achieve is 1.5 meters depth of water, but to terrace all of the banking. So if we're sitting at 1.5 meters, where are we? Like here, if I'm 180 odd, through to this height here. Whether we achieve that or not, I don't know. These inlet pipes are going to be the determining factor, where I can take them back to, reduce the fall and bring them up to height. So there's going to be a bit of work in that. The fact that one's sitting in water bothers me. I'm going to have to find out where the pipe is further up into the hill and expose it. But we'll show you all that in time. Right, I want to go and show you what the guys are doing, stripping back the vegetation. We'll go and see if I can get any of them to actually speak on camera. I think they all turn mute as soon as Cam turns up with a camera in their face. But let's show you what they're doing. Craig, why don't you want to talk on camera?
Too shy on camera.
Why? Well, you've just done it there. You've just managed to, right, tell us
Well,
what
don't say that, because no.
What's that? Did you work on the pond across that front pond?
Yeah.
Is this similar or is this pretty harder, do you think?
Pretty similar, to be honest. Well, there's a lot more trees to
How
come
much
down.
abuse? No, listen, be honest, all of you. How much abuse did we get when we done the other one? Everyone said, well, my mother, Jodie, Gemma said we made a mess, we took the vegetation away, and now what did they say?
It's 10 times better.
What, and what's the water like? Clearer, clean?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to try and do the same here, but we'll see how we get on. What happened the last time you cut a hedge?
I had a heart attack.
Worked out well, didn't it? Right before I had an open weekend, you pretended to have a heart attack.
I didn't pretend, Jimmy, I had one. The blue lights said I had one.
So now you've met some of my staff. Arlene still won't speak on camera. I don't think we'll ever change that, will we? We're going to leave the guys here now. I'm going to show you some of the other things we've been up to and what's been going on. They're going to continue on with this vegetation. We'll give them an hour and come back and see what the progress is like. Right, as you can see, I'm stood in front of the castle. I wanted to talk about this as in October, as a quick recap for what happened last month. We submitted a planning application for redevelopment of the castle. This is going to be for self-catering apartments. As you can see, it's a bit of a ruin. We bought this place in 1979. We re-roofed it in the 80s and spent 100,000 with the help of English Heritage then on the roof and completely redid it. And it's stood dormant since. Always been the family ambition to bring it back to life. But there was always a plan in that as well. We wanted to develop the caravan park to give this place a sustainable income and then come back and revisit the castle. It's taken me all of my years working in the business to build up, I think, the knowledge, the contacts, the ability to tackle a project like this. Well overdue. We finally submitted the planning application, and I say well overdue because this was really ready to go 2 years ago, and we've been delayed in this area with some planning issues due to something called nitrogen neutrality, if anyone's familiar with that. Finally it is in and it's been verified though by the council. We've got a few issues we've got to deal with biodiversity net gain. That's not too difficult, we're already on top of that with the ecologist, and we've had a visit from the conservation officer from the council as well. He's had a full tour and seemed to be okay with what we are proposing to do with the building. This will be a really slow burner, a long project. So I'm touching on it a little bit today, and we will continue on with this, plus with multiple episodes that are solely dedicated to the castle. So anything up this side and along that side, we're going to cut back, get rid of. You'll see the progress as we progress with that. But mainly because I need to be able to see what we're working with and how bad it is, and get access for the machines as well. Right, just quickly then, just to talk through who my staff are and why they won't speak on camera. I've got Dougie, he doesn't care, he'll talk about anything. Heart attack hedge. Bob's in the digger. He'll not speak, and Craig's on the chainsaw. Meanwhile, we've got Arlene, the lady of the group, driving the forklift, and I've got to be honest, probably doing a better job than the rest of the lads. You won't like that. So, what are the characteristics of my workforce? Well, probably determined by their age. Craig's 22 now. He's been with us how long? 5.5 years. I still can't get him on insurance for the van because he's useless and he can't hurry up and get older. Bob, he's my main man. I'll leave him with all responsibility. He drives the machines, he plans the jobs, he oversees everything. Dougie, He came for 2 weeks and he's never left. 3 years. He had a holiday though when he had a heart attack. Best lawnmower driver at hitting things. I wasn't, Douglas. I wasn't. You were pushing on because you stopped too much for brakes. Also, I went fishing with Dougie on the beach in Berwick. Standing next to me and he finds a gold and silver chain at my feet, didn't you?
I mean, I asked you if it was yours. You said no.
I don't walk around like that. And Arlene, what do we say about Arlene? She's the one that does all the work out of the lot of you. Arlene, on Monday, I had this on video, cleaning out drains, no gloves, straight in with her bare hands, doesn't care. The lads wouldn't do mine, I wouldn't do that either.
Sis.
Right, back in the office. Something I did really want to talk about. It's been on my mind all of last week. In fact, I took a couple hours off just to go and sit in the house and watch it unfold. It's the budget. Obviously, the whole country was anticipating what would come with this. I've never seen the country be, or definitely the countryside, be so unhappy with the outcome. It affects the economy of where we live, and living in the countryside, the inheritance tax for farmers has been a stiff blow for them. And I worry about some of the smaller businesses in the area and how they'll survive if they haven't got the funds coming in from the farmers, reinvesting in what they do. For example, we buy a lot of concrete. Will the farmers rein it in now and not look to invest because they're just going to be taxed on everything that they build as an asset? Will our benefits of being like a subsidiary business in the countryside and relying on the farmers doing all of that big stuff, and we just get the benefits of being able to buy concrete and getting our machines from a certain place and relying on the local garage and pubs and shops and everything else? Will all those benefits go? Beyond that though, I was sitting watching the budget because I was scared like everyone else, thinking it was going to be horrific. National insurance, it's not good. As a business operator, there's no encouragement to run a business from government now. They just want to try and punish you for that. Stamp duty on second homes could be a positive for us. I don't know yet. I'd like to see how that pans out. Obviously it's double now. Double council tax on second homes as well. Those sort of costs do add up. I want to understand more from our customers as to how the changes the government's made to pensions will affect them. Obviously the majority of our customers are fixed income retired professionals, and a lot of them retire early as well, but obviously then they've got a set amount of money that they would rely on for the rest of the days. I worry the government's went a bit too hard on them in that respect. Would that prompt people to sit and say, if sadly one day we're all going to die, if I get to that point and I still have X amount that's over the threshold of what we are allowed for inheritance tax, and the government's going to take 40% of that, do I just spend it? I'd really like to understand a bit more about that and see how this pans out. Yeah, it's not really been that positive a budget. The government's not doing us any favours, definitely not in the countryside. It's not looking that good. That's that section sort of covered for me, the budget. But that was just a little bit of a rant. A lot of my friends are farmers, like I say, and live in the countryside, and I've been speaking to them a lot. And it does feel like they've been persecuted. It's got nothing to do with my business, but it's a broader idea of the countryside. You did a half marathon.
I did, yes.
Time?
2 hours and 5 minutes.
And
3 minutes faster.
Cheers.
3 minutes faster than Jamie, I will add.
What are you, 29?
29 years young.
I'm 42.
Yeah.
And you beat me by 3 minutes.
That was my first half marathon. I'm quite proud of myself.
You did no training?
I didn't do very much training, but what I will say is what did push me at the end is that Jamie had ran the 2:08, and in the last mile I was dying on the half marathon, but I knew if I didn't keep running, then I was going to get back to the office having run a 2:10 or 2:11 and then never heard the end of it. So I'm on camera today, not through Jamie's first choice or second choice, just the fact that he had no one else to go on really. I did have a part in last week's video, which was rudely cut by Cameron and Jamie. So I apologise that you didn't see my cameo in last week's video.
I've tried with all them not outside. Nobody will speak. It's going to be a slow burner with them. I think we got 2 words out of Craig, didn't we?
God.
I've offered money. I've offered to deduct money. Or threatened, rather, if they don't speak. I've offered a bonus if they do speak. I'm not getting anywhere.
He's tried being nice.
I've tried being nice, I've tried being nasty. I've tried sneaking up on them and filming when they didn't know about it. I've tried everything and none of them will talk on camera.
There's a lot of stuff moving over at Locker.
Yeah, we've got a lot of vans moving at Locker. We've got 3 coming off.
Yes.
We've sold three.
So 3 sales over Locker. Locker's been busier than anywhere I've known this year, really. I think it's because of its location and Bamborough and everything. It's the only thing we can attribute it to, and it seems to be doing so well. And even the month of October, it's 3 people moving in there this coming week. So it's a busy week anyway over at Locker. I've just come back from there, checking all the handovers are ready, just making sure that everything's in good order. And then we've got an operation and a half in a few weeks' time. There's 3 units to come off in the
same week. So
in the same area.
The problem I've got is I can't get a wagon in, and there's nowhere to store caravans down there because it's an old layout. So we've got to pull one off, get a wagon in, get it taken away, immediately pull the next one off, get the wagon in, make sure that's gone, and then the third, and then get 3 in. This is my problem with Locker. I've got to run it like a military operation when we move caravans. So now you join me at Locker. This is the 3rd park in our little group. We've had this place for 2 years now. We're going into our 3rd season. This came about 2 years ago because it belongs to the Duke of Northumberland and they wanted somebody else to take it over and run it. Our name was put into the mix, which I was over the moon about. And as soon as the opportunity came about, we took it. I think I've said before, this was really my only competition, this little place. Every time I would show a holiday home to a customer, they would mention that they were viewing here as well. I don't know why, but it was always just the place that we went backwards and forwards. So again, I have the chance to take this on was unbelievable. To give you a little bit of a summary of it, there's 3 sections. There's the original part that's behind the pub, and it's got its own entranceway. So that's Apple. We've got Cherry, which is this part of the park, and then the top field, which is Mulberry. So there's 3 different areas of 3 different fields. The original first part, Apple, that was a touring park originally back like 50 odd years ago. So some of the pitches are smaller, some of the homes we can sell on there are a little bit smaller, access is a bit tighter, and then we get onto these, the middle and the top bit further up the hill, and we're going to go and see what's going on in the park. This is a van we just sold, I think on the last video I was talking about bringing it down here and the movements and with the lorry and stuff. So we've got this one sighted, decked, it still needs a glass fitted in the front, but I'm over the moon with this. You would think it was brand new, but it's not. It's actually a second-hand van. But I love doing jobs like this on the park. We've brought a new van in, it kind of lifts the area, the colours are nice and bright, tidied up the pitch. That's the satisfying part about this job for me. They were always clad in like an aluminium/tin back in the day. The insulation levels weren't very good. They weren't double glazed. And in my time in the industry, I've seen them go to double glazing, central heating, pitched roofs. The option of the cladding that we can get on them now, which makes them look a bit more lodge-like and blend with the countryside with different colour options. Biggest thing for me now is it's been around for years, but the residential specification. There's a better VAT implication for the customer when they buy it. It's cheaper insurance for them to run their home, and the efficiency of the home is just second to none compared to a standard caravan. Your gas bills, your heating bills, your electric, everything will be far less, and it's got a better resale value. So as many deals as we can do with the caravans at residential specification, we try to. It just depends on budget for the customer. Right, one of our jobs this winter is this old bridge. You can see it's rotten away with the timbers on the top. So we're going to replace all of these, but we're not really going to have an awful lot left to do down here. We've done all the hedges, we've done the tree work. Last winter with the help of my landlord, we upgraded all the electrics on the park to 32 amp and got it up to certificate. We've put new barriers in. There's just one thing that I'm desperate for, and that's internet for the customers. Obviously, we've always had it. We were one of the first parks in the country at Barmoor to have fibre, or I'm told we were the first, but I never got certified. So I'd really like it down here, so it's the next step for us. So we've got the spa, the pub, and then we're not too far from Bamborough. There's a lot going on in Locker. There's a holiday property bond. This big building that used to be Lucker Hall, there's all the holiday cottages, so there's always a bit of activity for such a quiet little village. It's never too busy, but there's always something going on. It's always of a nice standard as well. I mean, if you see any of the construction or people doing jobs, it's not like you're in Northumberland, it's like you're in the Cotswolds or something. Right, one of the short-term jobs I've got to do here is we've got 3 caravans coming off. As you can see from some of the drone shots, it's quite tight down here, especially on this old bit on the Apple. So I've got one behind me, another one over there and another one over there, all in the same week. So we need to line up the men and machines and have one van off at a time, collected, taken away, and then progress to the second and third. This is going to just take a little bit of organisation, but we'll manage that. I think it's going to be 3rd week of November. As you can hear and see behind me, I've got my guys, 2 guys that help me at Looker on cutting grass and strimming. This is November. This is like ridiculous. Still managing to get on because of this dry weather. I'm over the moon about it after the first part of the year was such a struggle. But the reason I was wanting to talk about it, we've got a little lawnmower on demo. So I've already got one and I've been offered this second one. I never see it as money wasted. If we get a difficult year or a wet period and cutting grass is just a nightmare, to be able to put 2 machines and 2 men out and do it in half the time and do it again that week if we need to catch up, it's never money wasted. It's always an investment into the standards of the park. Right guys, I thought I'd wrap up this week's video next to one of the newest vans on the park. This is one that I did on a previous video when I struggled to get it in on the wagon. When the forklift saved the day. Thank you for watching this week's episode. Hopefully we've shown you what we've been up to and what's going on. It would be a massive help to me if you could like and subscribe. I know I sound a bit cheesy saying that, but it all helps. And thank you for watching.